Hello everybody. As some of you may know, or may not know, my team, Fart Studios, has recently qualified for Div 2 NA. Step 1 on the road to TI 12. So here we are, in Game 3, and I have been asked, BSJ, how were you allowed to counterpick their carry with Razor in the off lane, and then Jenkins still manages to lose his lane? So today, we're gonna find out, right or wrong, how Jenkins did in that lane. Because in the middle of the game, as the carry player, I don't have time, I don't have the mental energy to dedicate to questioning my off lane player. So was he right, or is he trash? Let's find out.
Banana slam jam.
Jenkins, my man, Fart Studios. Jenkins. It looks like first blood goes to the enemy mid. Okay, so it didn't go, if like the first blood went to Lifestealer, then it'd be a bit different. So it is pretty standard on Razor to take your Q level 1 for range creep and such. So let's start it off with Jenkins missing the block. Not the best start. So I definitely don't like the lack of Quelling Blade because he could go a lot of damage items in a Quelling, because Lifestealer is a pretty low damage carry, and he's also against Hoodwink. So cutting these trees is really useful. So right off the bat, if I'm ever allowed to double the creep wave as a carry, I feel really good. If you notice, I'm actually doing the same thing here, and I'm winning my lane. So if the lane's allowed to get pushed into you like this, and the opponent's level 2 with like a double wave, this is always favorable for the safe lane, because that allows the support generally to leave and go give you solo XP and pull, or deward the pulls and such. And also it's really hard for offlaners to be aggressive when there's this many enemy creeps. So I would say the fact that he doesn't have a Quelling to prevent the Hoodwink stun over here, and then the Hoodwink stun prevented him from dragging aggro, actually, is what happened here. Because his offlane, generally you want to draw aggro, like he did to the range, and then you want to draw aggro again, such that these 3 creeps come all the way back here, and then you like sit in front of tower with like equal amount of creeps. But because he doesn't have a Quelling Blade, he gets stunned by Hoodwink, and the creeps de-aggro from him. And now he's like getting double waved with these 3 creeps back here. So losing these 3 creeps away from him was actually a really big deal. And it's like a pretty minor thing, but the lack of Quelling Blade against the Hoodwink actually cost him a lot here. So then he uses his first Q, and one of the range creeps gets denied. Not ideal. But the lane's like sitting in front of their tower now. We're kind of being chillin'. Dual denies. Not the best start. Razor's not like the strongest level 1. But we're still level 1. So now he's finally level 2. Gonna get the link off. The reason why I don't love this link, so this is actually a really bad link, and I'm gonna talk about why. So whenever you use powerful spells like this, generally a lot of powerful spells have like a short duration, or some sort of like, it's kind of like metamorphosis, stuff like this, where like for X amount of time, you are stronger than the opponent, right? That's like how it works. And a lot of these heroes like Razor, when Link is on cooldown, the opponent can kind of just run at you. So when Link's on cooldown, Razor is a 54 damage ranged hero. When he has Link and you ever go near him, he can link you. He turns into like an 80 damage ranged hero, and you do like 30 damage. So like for Razor's case, it's a pretty big deal to make use of that static link power spike duration. So whenever you're using spells like that, the goal is to have as many creeps die in the duration of your spell as possible. So what effectively happens here is the Lifestealer is not contesting this range creep. He's not contesting. Jenkins is gonna get this range creep. So then we have to ask ourselves, once he links him here, how many last hits and how many denies does he get in the 14 seconds from static link? I would say ideally like 3 or 4. He got 1 deny. That is what he got. He got 1 deny with the damage from the static link. I would say this was a very inefficient use of static link, and that being Razor's major strength in lane, it adds up a lot. The creep aggro mess up here cost him like 2 or 3 CS. The link there cost him probably 2 denies and 1 or 2 CS. So at this point, we're kind of just sitting in a spot where he's cost himself about a net like 5 or 6 creeps. And it's like 2 minutes in. It's just so important to cut these trees against Hoodwink. It's like Treant, Hoodwink. These heroes just rely on trees. So this is a circumstance where they weren't communicating very well. When you have a 4 position that can secure range, it's actually really important to know whether or not you're going to take a substantial amount of damage as a core to get the range creep. So theoretically, he could just sit here with his mana and health and like hover right here outside of tower range. He could let Nushim boulder smash this creep, right? And so Razor's going to be like being chilling. You know, he's going to have 500 HP, 160 mana. And yeah, he's not going to get the gold, but the gold is still going to Dire, right? So it's effectively fine. But instead, he like goes for it himself. He loses like obviously 120 mana. He gets the creep himself, but it doesn't actually like net them a creep. And then he was at 570 HP. He took 350 damage there. So by contesting that range creep, he actually took 350 damage and effectively wasted 125 mana. It's a pretty hefty loss for one creep. A lot of Dota in the laning stage is that there's certain creeps that are just like too costly to go for, and that was an example. This is a situation where as an offlaner or as a core, there's actually nothing he can do to Lifestealer if Link is on cooldown. So since the flag bearer creep is actually more important than like the normal creep, and he's about to get level 3, so he would like to wait for Static Link level 2, he should definitely kill this flag bearer creep prior to the Lifestealer getting here. So what that means is hitting the flag bearer creep once now, and then hitting it again before Lifestealer gets here. And he's got like the Wraith Band for attack speed, so he should be able to do that. But instead he goes for the deny, and then Lifestealer's allowed to just walk up and deny as well. So taking an uneven trade there, not a good. And then he decides to use Static Link on the support when Static Link is still level 1. Let's do some math. You're buffed for 14 seconds for 35 damage at max. In the next one, you're buffed for 18 seconds for 72 max. That's like more than double. Like that's like pretty significant, right? In terms of scaling. So then he uses the spell right before he's level 3, not ideal. And the issue with this now is not only did he use the spell before he's level 3, but generally speaking, one of the worst things you can do is be weak when the lane is pushing in. Generally speaking, when you have more creeps than the opponent, it's really important that you are stronger than them at that moment, if possible. It's really important if you have more creeps than them, that you're stronger than them. Because if you're not stronger than them, like say you're in Lifestealer's situation and he's weaker than the Razor, then he's gonna sit back and let the lane push into him. And so he can effectively wait for the creeps to be in a better spot, and he's gonna get all the CS. But if you're weaker than them when the lane is pushing in, then the lane's already pushing into them, it's not gonna get any better, and you're effectively just gonna have all those creeps die, right? And you're not gonna get any of them. So by using his Static Link when he did, he honestly missed so many CS there, because it's costing him this creep wave. Like, imagine if he held Static Link earlier, not really worrying about Hoodwink. It's like Hoodwink's going on the Earth Spirit. She's not, like, killing him or anything. She's just, like, right-clicking him. Now if he has Static Link right now, right? Say he had Static Link there and Static Link the Lifestealer. Sure, maybe he's getting harassed by Hoodwink, but it's like 1v2 and Lifestealer does 0 damage. So it's effectively like 1v1 and he gets bonus damage. He's probably getting at least 1 or 2 of these CS, maybe 3, if he like level 2 Static Link the Lifestealer right now. But instead, deny, gets that last hit. So he missed about 2 CS by 3 CS by not having Link. So now he has Link again, same thing. See what I mean? So now he's able to get, you're stronger than that dude. The Link, there's actually no reason for him to be afraid of Hoodwink right now. So Lifestealer's useless. He's effectively 1v1ing a support with 100 damage. He's not allowed to be inside of a creep wave hitting you when you have 100 damage and his carry can't do anything. His carry hits for 23. Hit him, dude. Hit him. So, man, I'm actually getting to flame the shit out of Jenkins. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, guys. I'm going to be honest. I actually thought, like, they've nerfed Razor's laning stage a lot. Maybe, like, it's just not as good as I thought it was, okay? I actually thought that's what I was going to see, okay? But this has turned into a Flame Jenkins video. So, when you have buffs that are going out, your fucking TB with Metamorphosis, your DK with Ultimate Form expiring. You have stuff like this that makes you strong, and it's expiring. The one thing you need to do is by the time it's expired, you have to be in a safe position. Because what good players will do is when they see the buff timing out, they're going to run at you to try to be on you when the buff expires. Like, that's what they want to do. They're like, okay, wait for the metamorphosis, wait for the static link, and get him. So the goal should be to kill these creeps before the static link buff is out. And ideally, you would kill the creeps maybe like 3 or 4 seconds before the static link buff is out, because that gives you like retreat time. You know, that gives you time to leave such that you can disengage and they can't go on you when you're weak. But Jenkins, instead of fighting the hoodwink and then pushing the wave, ran away when he was strong. Okay, he ran away when he was strong, and now he's going to... I'm putting my desk in standing position. I'm pretty passionate. This is my fucking offlaner. Jesus Christ. He ran away when he was strong, and now when he's weak, he's gonna go for this range creep. So, like, if Jenkins, you know, does his thing where he's watching these Herald reviews, you know, okay, let's just call it how it is. Jenkins has watched way too many Herald games at this point. When I watch his reviews, Jenkins puts himself in the mind of these Heralds. He has put himself in the mind of the Heralds, and he reads them. You know, they speak to him psychically, telepathically. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. Right now, his link is going to expire in like 4 seconds. This Lifestealer, if he was watching more Immortal replays and put his mind in the mind of an Immortal player, would think, this Lifestealer is going to try to be on top of me, hitting me right when link expires. So he's not going to walk up for this range creep because he can't hit it in time before his link expires, right? He's going to let this range creep go. That's what's going to happen if he was watching more Immortal replays. Instead, Lifestealer runs at him when he has no link, and he takes 400 damage. And it costs the opponent 1 Q from Hoodwink. So it's definitely good that he's not using link now, when the lane was pushing into him. But like now the lane was like pushing back into him when he could theoretically be strong. But since he took 400 damage when he was weak, he's not actually strong when he could be strong because he's missing half his HP. So this moment where he's supposed to be strong in lane, he's still not strong because he didn't have HP. And there's like another salve worth of damage, right? So he's actually spent, he chose to prioritize 2 range creeps that both cost him a salve worth of health, and one of them he didn't even get. So he's exchanged 50 gold of a range creep for 2 salves so far in lane. And that leads to this death. Double kill for Lifestealer. Monka Giga. Okay. So now, like, okay, Jenkins. Nobody cares about this fucking catapult, bro. Hit the enemy creeps. You are in a bad lane matchup now. Like, you're losing. Who cares about fucking denying this catapult? Hit the enemy creeps and get 4 CS here. Like, he has 72 stolen damage. This Lifestealer can't contest him for like 10 seconds. And he's spending the entire 10 seconds hitting a fucking catapult. And then he doesn't get the deny. Holy fuck. Jenkins. Okay. We do have a month to reconsider our roster. That is the positive of this situation. Missed a rain, missed a fucking flag bearer creep. I mean, at this point, the lane's kind of over, right? Like, Razor's pretty good against Lifestealer. But, like, the lane's over. I would probably just go max Plasma Field at this point. Like, no reason to, like, try to shit on this Lifestealer anymore. Like, if you were shitting on the Lifestealer, you probably put a 3rd point in Static Link. Like, this ability means, like, play for your own farm. This ability means shit on the Lifestealer. I think, like, the era of attempting to shit on Lifestealer is over. But luckily, we aren't... Oh, he went for a 3rd... Okay, guys. That is going to be my replay analysis for Jenkins. Off-lane Razor against the Lifestealer. You see it here, folks. If you would like to learn how to lose a favorable matchup, tune into... he's on YouTube as well as Twitch, 420 Jenkins. He makes videos about Heralds. Really good content. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe. If anybody knows any good lawyers for when Jenkins comes at me for this video, please let me know. See you guys the next time. Bye-bye.